Good morning. Today is 23rd of February, Friday. We're in front of the Shabbat. Shabbat is coming up. And today we continue with the Tanya, and we will address today what's missing in Tanya, seems to be. We are already on lesson 16, chapter 16 of 53 of Tanya. And one thing is strikingly, maybe something is what's missing. And what is reflected, what seems to be missing, and we hope it will come up later on in the chapters. Maybe Tanya will get to that eventually. I think the most important thing that may be missing, what's missing is Hesed. How do you do relationship between man and man, between people? Between people. Tanya seems to concentrate, as oftentimes in our today's society, on the religious society, in fact, observant society. We concentrate on the relationship between man and God. How do we get close to Hashem? How do we get close to God? And maybe we forget that perhaps God is saying, imagine God is a father with several children, and every child wants to be close to the father. And in the meantime, they fight among themselves. What's the most important thing for the father? Kavod, the respect they show and love they show to him, yes, it's nice and important. But the father, and most important thing for him is for the children to have peace. So when he is gone, or not affecting them, or giving them a free choice, they will choose to live in peace, respect, and love each other, not having focused on good, wonderful relationship with him. In other religions, maybe in Buddhism, I don't know much about other religions, but it seems to me like a lot of concentrations in all religions on the relationship between the person and God. People go outside of society, in the mountains, into the woods, to find peace between them and Hashem. But what Hashem wants, I think, is not that. Hashem wants us to get along with each other. Midrash tells us that, and the Talmud tells us, the first temple was destroyed because of three things. There was a murder, incest, and idol worshiping. He wiped it out. The flood before that was sent in the days of Noah because humanity fell to the point that bad behavior was legitimized, was the law. And the flood was to wipe it out. The second temple was destroyed for a different reason. The second temple, Rabbi Akiva's students, 24,000 of them died, not because they were not Talmudei Chachamim. They knew Torah upside down, inside out. The people at the second temple days knew all the halacha. They were observant Jews, but they failed to love and respect each other. And when you respect now, and when we look at our society today, you find that even in observant society, not perhaps everybody, not to that extreme, but a lot of focus on how do I get close to God, close my eyes and be in prayer. Tanya also gives us ways how Benoni becomes a better human being, how we take example from a tzaddik, how we take example not to be like a Rasha, and then we ask ourselves, what is Rasha? What is bad behavior? Is it only because you rob banks, or because you steal, or you lie? Or is it also because you throw the wrapper from an ice cream when you're eating on the floor, and the other person slips and falls on this? Or when you take the garbage outside your home and put it by the curb instead of taking to the garbage disposal. You don't think about another person. And then you go to the synagogue to pray after all that. So Hashem says, take a look on what your behavior between your fellow human being. And we want to find out, maybe as we continue next week and on with Tanya, how does Tanya addresses that? The lack of midot that we have, or insufficient midot of we have. And then we wonder, why Hashem give us so many signs? Why Hashem does give us coronas and wars? The Bible said, the Torah says, I will send a hornet, the bee, the stinger amongst you, to sting you, to remind you at the times when you don't behave. And you have to get it. And the question becomes, how many of us get it? How many of us are so much focused on halacha, the rule of law? Hasidim would say, Rebbe said this, so I can do that. And I don't do something else. Mignagnim, saying, I don't do what Hasidim do. I don't go to the synagogue. It's like a story of the guy, famous story of the guy, who was shipwrecked on the island. And when they found him, he built 2 synagogues. Why? One I attend, and the second one I do not step my foot into. We have to learn from this example. We have to say that if there's a minyan, if there's 8 people in synagogue, and 3 other Jews walking by, and they're Hasidim, and these guys are Mignagdim, they have to turn their way, come in and make a minyan and help them, and vice versa. When 8 Hasidim, 9 Hasidim are praying, Chabadniks, Satmars, Belts, you name it, and non-observant Jew is walking by, and he knows, even though he's not observant or religious, that these guys need the minyan, and if they have time, if they're not rushing to work, that probably will be an excuse. They have to turn in and sit and make a minyan and let the observant guys to continue with their tradition to make them happy. It's how do you make another human being happy? Hillel said to the non-observant non-Jew, when asked what Judaism is all about, when you stand on one foot for a short time, explain to me. And Hillel said to him, that is what hurtful to you, don't do unto others. Everything else is commentary. Yes, the Torah is important, Chumash is important, Tanakh is important, Prophet is important, Halacha is important. But overall, it's a chesed to another human being. That's the starting point. If you're spending 25 hours a day prayer on top of the mountain with a full unity of Hashem, you're missing the big picture. And the big picture is combine your studies with application to another human being. If you have a synagogue in which there's a machlokas, fix it. Otherwise, there is no kedusha. If they have a community that even striving financially, but people don't talk to each other, fix it. If somebody is suffering, and you are expanding your synagogue to build another dome, another this, another that, in the meantime, somebody is sick and in a bad shape, and you put $1 million into building another room to the synagogue, instead of taking this money and help the person who has nobody to care for, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what really is important in life? The beauty of the building? The extent of your knowledge of halacha or Talmud, or how much you have done for another human being. So all this learning of the Torah, Tanya, Kabbalah, it's all wonderful. Do that. But once you do this, apply that to apply another human being. That is what Hashem wants from us. That is what He wants from me, from you, and from all of us. Shabbat Shalom. God bless us all. God bless you.